Hey everybody, welcome back. So everybody that's followed the channel for a little while is going to notice we're in a little bit different setting today, and we got a little bit different topic. And for those of you guys that seen the wildlife photography thumbnail and that caught your interest, well, you're in the right spot there as well. Typically we do a lot of large constrictor, like 15, 16, 17 foot snakes, handling and socializing, things like that, working with monitor lizards, talking about behavior and whatnot. Well, here recently, we've taken up photography. Of course, if we're going to do YouTube, we've got to get, upgrade the gear, and of course, learn how to use it. So I thought, what better way to learn how to use it than start with one of the most difficult things I could think of, and that's bird in flight and wildlife photography. And it's been a lot of fun. So today, we're going to go ahead and walk through. I'm going to show you my spot here that I'm in, one of my favorite spots to catch these different species of birds. Kind of talk about the gear, show the setup and things like that, and just kind of share a little bit of that stuff with you guys. So you won't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back on Intrepid Exotics. Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. So this is our path out to our new site where we like to look for these ospreys. There's a bunch of trails out here, but the greenway trails, to have them wind around and be as long as they possibly can for folks. But we're not out here for the exercise. We're out here to get to our spot. So we get to cut through all the spider webs and all that stuff off the trail, so we can shoot straight out to where we're going. And one thing you'll notice that I've got, I don't need it because I got my cell phone, but I got my compass on me. I always keep that with me when I'm out in the woods. There's a couple things that make us actually not need that. One of which is there's not too many places where the woods are so vast that you're gonna get lost in the first place. These smaller sections in these built up areas, like right close to town like this, you don't have to walk any more than an hour in one direction so you run into a building. But and plus, of course, got the cell phone. All you gotta do is pull up the map on the cell phone. It'll tell you exactly where you're at. So it's not like the good old days when we had to actually use the compass to get around. Here's the point where we come back on the trail. It's really nice out today. It's about 77, I think, which is perfect walking weather. Especially with this big old tick on my back. I've got all my recording equipment in here. Not only for the photography with the new setup, but I've got my old camera in there. So we've got something to record on besides the cell phone once we get out to our spot. So, thought you guys would appreciate seeing a little bit of traipsing through the woods. And since I like to run out the daylight when I shoot out here, I probably be coming back through here pretty close to dark. So, you guys haven't experienced walking around in the woods by yourself at night, it's pretty nice. It really is, especially if you get an early moon. Sometimes it can be like walking around in the daytime once your eyes get acclimated to the darkness and so forth. And we're still close enough to where we can still hear the sirens. I'm going to show you one more spot here. Now that we're back on it, this is all part of the lake, and the rest of this is all trail walking. So we'll look at the setup once we get there. Now before we go getting set up here, I want to take a second, just kind of show you guys. We're going to walk around a little bit and show you the site. This is something that I found pretty much by accident. This is all woods back here. It's all greenway and hiking trails and whatnot. And as we come around down the hill a little bit, we're right water's edge. This is one of the best places for waterfowl around here that I've found. But this is one of my favorite spots here. As you look out, you can probably see across the way here, there's a park right on the other side of the lake. And what drew me over here was the fact that all of the osprey and a lot of the birds were all congregating over in this area right here. May not see too many of them today since I'm sitting over here talking and all this stuff, but this is a really good spot for them where we can get a little bit closer than we were over there. And it's a really nice spot. So as soon as I get out here, of course, the first thing that I want to do is get my gear set up, and I want to do that pretty quick because if something happens, I definitely don't want to miss it. And this is the pack that I brought out with me. As you can see, this thing is not small. I have got all kinds of stuff in here. I had to carry out the tripod and gimbal and the Canon M50 Mark II that I'm recording this on. And of course, here recently we've upgraded our camera gear, which I'm really happy about. I'll show you guys, this thing can do some phenomenal work. And it should serve us really well out here, especially once we get to the point where these osprey are settled in and hunting and we can catch them doing that. It's a lot of fun. And this tripod, I keep it set up, if for no other reason, just to hold the camera. You're definitely not going to want to have it on a tripod the whole time. Things just happen way too fast. So one thing you'll notice that I keep on a tripod here, and if you're curious, this one right here with the twist lock legs on it is a newer TP61. It's not a bad little fluid head tripod. Of course, this stuff's not top of the line. I'm trying to maintain the budget, but I have found this to be really useful. This little nodal slide that'll sit right there in there, and you'll see when we get the lens out here why this comes in handy. And the lens that I'm using is really outstanding. This is a Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter. And this is just, you can really reach out and touch stuff with this. And from everything that I've seen and studied so far, this is really one of the best lenses that you can get for right around $1,000 range. Anything, you get a whole lot better than this, and you're looking into big prime lenses that are going to be up in the $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 range. We're certainly not there yet. And then this is the new beast that I just picked up this past Saturday. And this is a Canon R5. It's a 45 megapixel full frame, and the thing just does phenomenal work. I've been using the M50 Mark II that I'm recording on right now for a long time, and it's been doing some good stuff, but it's crop sensor camera already. So when you're doing things at a distance like wildlife, it can be really difficult when you have to crop or you need to get in on something to keep a picture quality up. So I'm finding ever since I've started shooting this R5 right here, this thing is just outstanding. I've had nothing but good luck with it. But this thing is very heavy, and it can be hard on this little tripod right here. So this nodal slide will keep this thing a little bit balanced. I just kind of find a main balance point on it and let it sit there. That way I don't have to lock this down, and if I need to move something really quick, I can still do it without the lens you know, completely falling down on me and stuff like that. So it's not bad. So the cool thing is what really brought me to this point is, you know, when we started doing the YouTube channel, and I had all this experience to share with the big constrictors and handling and all that other stuff. So I started recording everything on my cell phone. For the first year and a half, something like that, all my videos were all cell phone recorded. And as you go back and see them, you can definitely pick that up. The audio is terrible. So over the course of the last couple of years, I've kind of worked on upgrading things a little bit. And before we get too far along here, I do want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Patreon supporters for Intrepid Exotics. You guys are awesome. We've got a great community of some really skilled keepers with some really awesome animals on there. And it's always a lot of fun when we have our live streams and then our Zoom meetups and so forth afterwards. Really enjoy getting on and really touching base with the community like that. And of course, you know, that does a lot to facilitate upgrading the gear and everything else that's associated with doing the YouTube thing. So if you guys like what we're doing here, you want to jump on and support, I've got the Patreon link down in the description of all our videos. Go ahead, jump on there. Any tier jumps in on our Zoom calls, and we definitely appreciate having you guys around. Again, when I was setting all of this up and, you know, started really focusing on improving the gear in order to get a little bit better video quality for the YouTube channel, you know, we initially bumped up to this little crop sensor M50 Mark II that we're recording on now, and it's done really well. It does, you know, it does pretty good for what it is. It's known for being a really good like podcast camera and so forth. But then as I started finding the need to learn more about how to use it and really digging into some of the photography stuff, it just kind of fell short. And as I was seeing some of the images that the bigger full frame cameras was putting out, just really completely impressed with it. So we ended up breaking down and we got the Canon R5, which is working really well, getting some stunning stuff out of it. And it's one of the things that we're going to end up using as we go here to kind of help finance and subsidize some of the stuff that we do at Intrepid Exotics. I want to start, you know, coming out, doing nature and wildlife photography, selling some prints. I've already got a decent collection on the intrepidexotics.com website where you can go in, look at some of the stuff that we've captured. We've been to one unique place so far, and that is the Sylvan Heights Bird Park out on the east coast of North Carolina, which was a lot of fun. A lot of gorgeous animals out there. We got some pictures in there from there. We took the old Mark 50 down to the Ashboro Zoo and got some decent stuff out there with it. But I'm really looking forward to hitting some of these more, you know, unique locations with the bigger camera here, because I think some of the stuff that comes out of there is going to be really, really awesome. Now, the cool thing about this particular park is where I'm at now, right across the lake, is where the park area is at. You know, they've got like a water park on the far side of the lake. Right across here, there's picnic areas and shelters and stuff like that. And there's typically, especially on the weekends, man, there's a lot of people down there. And it can make it really difficult to get on the water's edge and get the shots that you need when there's kids all over the place with fishing poles and stuff like that. And plus, it would be impossible to film anything over there because somebody's always got music playing. So one thing that I noticed, like I said, when I was sitting on the other side, is a lot of the birds of prey like to sit on this side of the lake. So we found the way out here through the woods, got here, set up in this little spot, and it's really served me well. Now, one thing I do want to do is I want to plug a lot of you guys, especially, you know, reptile folks. You know, you've got the certain people that you watch that you trust online and you'll get a lot of your information from. When it comes to photography, there's a channel, I'll link that down in the description of the video here as well. There's a man called Simon D'Entremont, and he's up in Canada, and he's got over 500,000 subs. He's just an amazing photographer. He does awesome work, and he puts out a lot of really good content that will teach you everything that you need to know about how your camera operates, how to work it, how everything, the guy does amazing stuff. So I've really meditated on his videos a lot before coming out here, and I still do. Every time I've got something I just can't quite tweak right. Yeah, really good source of information. So I'll put his link down there. Definitely check out his channel if you're into this kind of stuff. And I'm not going to go too crazy on just talking about specs and things like that. This is kind of an introduction to, you know, what I'm doing out here as far as wildlife photography goes, and just to see how much interest there is in the channel with my regular community on it. And if there's anybody that, you know, is just in it for the photography aspect of it, let me know that too. You know, if there's anything that you'd like to see me talk about out here, and some of the stuff that we do out here in this setting, by all means, I'll throw some videos up about that. You know, we're still primarily a reptile channel, but when I started it, I called it Intrepid Exotics because I knew there was going to be other animals involved along the way. My initial thought was I was going to end up getting back into marine aquariums and start doing a lot more content on those. But I've chosen not to start those yet. I may start some down the road when we get moved into a bigger place and I've got more space to accommodate them. But for the time being, we're still focusing on reptiles, and we've got our friend Neva out at the Allegheny Zoo that has some really cool mammals out there. There's a litter of fox, there's some coatimundes, kinkajous, things like that that we can, you know, get on, make videos about, go out and play with the big birds, things like that. So there's all kinds of different content that we start putting out as far as that stuff goes too. But I think the wildlife photography is going to be a lot of fun, and it just gives folks a little bit something different without going in right now and getting too technical about it, because I certainly don't want to come off as a professional photographer, because we're not there yet. But I think we're pretty close to being able to put out some professional level stuff. We've definitely got professional level gear right now that I'm really happy with, so we'll see how everything goes. Don't want this video to be too long, but we are going to be staying out here until dark time. This is a really good spot for a couple of reasons. One, of course, there's not a lot of people out here, so the animals are going to be more likely to be over on this side than over there, except for the ducks. The ducks just, they love the people. Everybody's always over there feeding them. But one thing that's really cool is I've got this wide open area right here, and it's perfect because the sun sets that way. So as the sun goes down, anything that I catch over in this area is going to catch that sunlight right there. So hopefully what I'm hoping to catch is one of those osprey over here fishing, and to get them facing me coming down like right over here. One of the shots that I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that we get. So we're going to jump off of here, and whatever pictures we manage to catch here tonight, I'll go ahead and play those here at the end of the video. And you guys have an outstanding day, and we'll see you next time on Intrepid Exotics.